Hello and good day, friends. This is Isaiah, and you are here. It's an absolutely beautiful day out today. And no, I have not moved. You are seeing this correct. This video was not recorded several months apart. This is Kentucky weather, friends. One day it can be 32 degrees and snowing. The next day it's 55 to 60 degrees. The sun's out and shining, and it's like a spring morning. So, but I like it though. I love it. It's good old vitamin D. What do I want to talk about today with you folks? It's the idea or the concept of the human avatar. You may have seen my preview thumbnail and asked yourself, the human avatar, what does that mean? What is Isaiah talking about this time? Well, I will explain. For those of you who have seen James Cameron's The Avatar, his idea, totally not my idea, but if you haven't seen that movie, The Avatar it talks about there's this alien species, they live on another planet. There is a mineral there that we have discovered that is supposed to be one of the most precious, I think it's a metal that has ever been discovered or known to man. And of course, we as humans invade their planet and want to mine their planet for this precious mineral. The natives there, they're very primitive, well, primitive from our perspective. And they just want to do nothing but defend their planet. They're not out for greed or capitalism, etc., etc. You know, that same old story. Well, we figured out a way to put ourselves inside of a machine, we as humans, and hop inside the bodies of one of these aliens. And it's called an avatar when you're doing this. It's genetically created in a lab, and it's designed to work with your own body's natural organic structure. You lay down in the machine and you can essentially come alive in the avatar. Very good movie if you haven't seen it. I think it's an allegory for modern society, but that's neither here nor there. We'll get into that a little deeper later on, as well as extraterrestrial life. Yes, friends, I'm going there. I have my opinions on it. Future video. Stay tuned for that. No, what I want to talk about today is the literal concept of human avatars as we know it, as it would apply to the spiritual community, religious community. We've all heard the word soul tossed around, and we've heard the words higher self tossed around. Well, what's the difference? The difference is the theory of the higher self says that we each and we all have, it's our highest, it's our best version. It's a version of ourselves that's higher than the soul. The higher self, the difference between the higher self and the soul is the higher self hasn't lived through incarnated lifetimes and accrued what's called karmic debt over the millennia. It's the purest aspect of our being. And the soul is the part that has came into different lifetimes to gain different experiences in order to collect that information, take it back to source. Now, that's just my own personal beliefs. You can plug and play that however you want. The Christian Bible says that we have a soul that was created by God, sent into this life, and we're here on a mission, and when we die, we're either going to go to heaven, burn in hell. We've heard that whole story. Your soul will either live on eternally in the kingdom of heaven, or depending on the decisions you make, karmic debt in this life, you will burn for all eternity. I personally don't subscribe to that philosophy. I don't see an omnipotent creator creating us just to destroy us and having such feelings, human feelings of rage, hate, envy, jealousy, those sorts of things. It's all human constructs, but again, another topic for another day. And I have no problems with anyone that subscribes to that philosophy or ideology, much power to you. I will never try to change anyone's mind on their ideals or convince anyone of anything, as I am no one special. I do not possess any sort of supreme truth. I want to say that again. I am no one special. I do not have any supreme truth or one divine answer to offer you here, friends. I have my experiences, my life, things that's happened to me, things that's gotten me by, things that's proven itself to me in my life. And that's why I'm here, sharing these experiences and ideas with you in hopes that maybe you can get a little nugget of hope, truth, or insight out of it. I'm way off subject here a little bit, going back to the subject of the human avatar. Now, what am I discussing? What am I saying with that? Well, what I'm talking about is this concept of, okay, we have a soul, higher self, that's not of this dimension. Now, our soul resides with us inside of this body. The soul is here, in the third dimension on planet Earth. The soul is what drives this machine. The soul is timeless and boundless. The soul is without form. So for the soul to exist in what's called the third dimensional plane, the soul needs a vehicle to live inside of, i.e. the human body. The human body is an organic machine. The best way to think of it, it's like a car. You hop inside of it and you can go about your life. You can go about your day. Well, except with this, the soul hops into this physical organic structure for a given lifetime and lives out its purpose, collects what information is needed to take back to source in the form of experience, and our soul moves on through its lifetimes, gaining and collecting information. Once you've learned everything that you've needed to learn, and you have had all the experiences that your soul is needed to have, and you have ascended the karmic debt that you've accrued over the lifetimes, you move on. Where you move on to, there's a lot of different theories and ideas surrounding it. I won't get into that today, but you move on into a higher realm of being where your soul no longer needs to come back into this life and continue living out lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. The soul and the higher self become one. All the while, we have the higher self, the highest possible version of ourselves. Absolutely non-human, hasn't lived out any lifetimes. It's us in our purest form. It's the part of us that has existed since the dawn of creation. The higher self sort of guides and controls the soul on this plane. It's the voice that we hear that we don't listen to very often that is attempting to guide us in the right direction. The more you go introspectively and you can look at your life objectively, the more you learn to listen to this side of yourself, this higher self. The more you purify your mind and your thoughts and your body, the clearer your intuition will be when it comes to discerning what the higher self has to say. Now, that's just been my experience. I've read lots of literature on this subject, and that's how it explains the best way to get in touch with your higher self. Meditation, clearing out your thoughts, learning to be the observer of your thoughts and not be blindly guided by every single thought you have, not have an emotional reaction to every single thought that comes in and enters into the forefront of the mind. So how does all this work with the human body? Well, this is how we come full circle to the avatar concept. Well, we have a soul. We've already established that the soul is operating this organic machine to navigate through this lifetime. There's one missing part. The human body, the brain, it's a living being all on its own. There are humans, I believe, out there alive today that are soulless. They have no avatar. They are operating independently, free of a driver. This is possible. Something you might have heard before is the term the reptilian brain, reptilian mind. Well, it's because the brain and the body has its own thoughts and feelings and perceptions, all of which are automatic processes that have been established based on life situations and circumstances throughout your past. Your brain collects data every day, and it stores information and it discards information. It stores the information that it deems as being valuable, and it discards any information that it feels doesn't serve a purpose. And this body navigates through this life this way. Most of us do not have an understanding of our soul or our higher self. So we're slaves to the mind. We're slaves to the brain and the body. We just blindly do what the body wants to do. That's why obesity is running rampant. That's why there's such an epidemic of obesity in Western society today, because all of our foods have chemicals in them that the human body and the brain get addicted to. So we have to carry out this need to fulfill those cravings. The body is addicted to those things. So we just continue to consume and consume and consume, never thinking about what we're putting into our bodies. Because the body just wants it, so it gets it. We just follow along. Same thing with programming and television. Programming today is just garbage. It's typically not uplifting. It's not empowering. It's destructive in nature. There's lots of destruction on the television and on social media today and on the news, and it just promotes war and fear, and it compounds this idea that we need someone to take care of us, and that's where the government steps in and they're like, we'll tell you what you need. We'll take care of you. We'll meet all of your needs. Don't think for yourself. Just stay plugged into the system. Stay plugged into the matrix, if you will. I want to stop right there and say, this isn't an anti-government anarchist speech. I'm not looking to put together an uprising. We live in a third dimensional reality, and there are laws and rules that we must abide by. I want to say that again. You have to obey the law. That is part of the conditions of this life that we live in today. That's the rules of society. Now, we can collectively and peacefully change these laws and rules over time if we come together as one and work towards building a new, healthy society, work towards changing the paradigm of the norm and work towards making something better. I'm all for peaceful resolution. I am not a promoter of war or anarchy. So do what you're supposed to do. Follow the rules and the laws of the land. And let's work together towards changing them. Although at this time I do believe we live in a society that is set up to breed consumers. That's what we're taught in school, is to get the good grades, compete, be the best, grow up, have a family, retire, buy a nice home, buy a car, take vacations, consume, consume, consume. But we do not seem to be a society that promotes production. We're a society that promotes consumption, not production. And this body, this avatar, this machine just falls into that. It needs to be programmed. Your brain is like a computer, and it's programmed to function a certain way from the time that we're small children. First 5 years of your life are the most impressionable because everything you're taking in is laying out the groundwork for your neural processes later in life. That's how we have established beliefs and ideas and philosophies based on our geographical location in the world. That's where all of that information comes from, is the information that gets programmed into the brain from inception on, all through our childhood. And most of us just go through life listening to the body and listening to the brain just doing what it says, just following it blindly, never questioning the status quo. Then there's that special few. And there's my people out there. If you're listening to this video, you're one of those people, or you wouldn't have taken the time to watch this or any of my other content. There's those people out there that get a nudge one day. There's a yearning inside of their body they can't explain. And they struggle to find answers to define what this yearning is. There's something inside of them that's pulling them to do something a little different, that's causing them to question the world around them. So they dig and they go inside and they meet their soul and their higher self for the first time. They gain an understanding of the light, the spark that dwells within, that drives this machine, and they start to learn that they are not this body, they are not this form, but something more. You are an eternal, spiritual being having a temporary human experience. And the closer you get to understanding this part of yourself, the more rewarding your life will be. The more you'll come to find that anything you want to do or experience is yours. You are a creator. This life bends to your will. You are a powerful creator. You have the ability to emit a frequency and an energy that can just literally shape and mold what's perceived to be the physical world around you. You came into this life to live your purpose, to give back, to learn and to grow. It's a pretty leaf. I kept swirling on. I'm sure you saw me looking down there at the ground. Probably take this home and give it to my lovely wife. She likes things like this. You're perfect and you are amazing. Don't believe what you've been told. Don't believe the rantings of the subconscious mind. Don't listen to the body. You're not your body. You're so much more than that. And I would love to help you discover that truth. If you have any questions for me on this subject or you would like to know more, you can direct message me or hit comments below. We'll get a public conversation started about the subject. And I want to reiterate that I am by no means attempting to convince anyone of anything. This is just some of the truths that I've discovered for myself. I've met my higher self. I've danced with my soul. And I fully understand the difference between these higher aspects of my being and my physical body. I allow my higher self and my soul to direct me, not my body. I take care of my body so that the electrical processes in my brain and in my nervous system will function more smoothly, and my heart will function better, and I can breathe better, and I can have a better quality of life. When you take care of this avatar, when you take care of this body, it makes it a lot easier for you to maintain communication with your higher self and your soul. Because all of your body's natural electrical processes are functioning in harmony. And everything's working optimally. It's just like a high-performance race car. You put a special fuel in it so that it can function at its best. Or a professional athlete, they maintain a very special and strict diet and a strict exercise regimen so their body's in tip-top shape and they can function at optimal levels. Well, it's the same thing for your spirituality. If we take care of our vessel, if we take care of our machine, the functioning and the facilitation of our spiritual processes will be optimal, and you will yield more results in your life. You will more easily yield more positive manifestations in your life. This is about all I have today on this subject. If this video has served you in absolutely any way, please like and subscribe to my channel at You Are Here, all capital letters. You can also follow along on Instagram at You Are Here 334. And wherever you're at, whatever you're doing right now, I hope that your life is going just how you want it and just how you need it to. I hope that there is much love in your heart, much peace in your mind, and much balance in your soul. Until next time, my friends.